Play ball!
If they don't win, it's a shame. It's 1-2. They fight you out of the ball game.
What's going on, guys? Tito Round Trippers here for episode 2, season 2 of Talkin' Tribe with Tito. Get some programming notes out of the way really quick. We are Abraham Drinkin'. Please tune in to the Abraham Drinkin' page tomorrow at 6 o'clock for the General Content Podcast live from the Lincoln Lounge. A guest has not been announced yet to the best of my knowledge, so if there is one, that'll be a fun surprise for everyone, myself included. A lot of different forums to get our podcast. YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Got some clips on Instagram, I believe, TikTok. So please check us out, Abraham Drinkin', wherever you get your podcasts. This show will run 8:30 p.m. on Sundays. Most Sundays. We may take Easter off, and we are going to be talking some tribe throughout the baseball season. First and foremost, this is a Cleveland baseball show, but props to Paige Buchers and company, doing what the Caitlin Clark sideshow could not do last year, and taking down what in today's times can only be considered a dynasty, that is Dawn Staley, South Carolina Gamecocks. So shout out to UConn, national champions. I'll rarely venture outside of baseball, but when an impressive title's won, an impressive title is won. Credit where it's due. Congratulations to UConn. All right, moving on. 3 series in the books for our Guardians. We have yet to have a home date yet. That comes Tuesday. It's going to be chilly, but it's going to be dry, and it is happening. So shout out to everyone braving the elements for the home openers in Cleveland and Eastlake with our high A-ball captains. Like I said, the game will go on, or as close to a sure thing as a Major League and minor league baseball games can be. It'll just be obviously less than ideal weather as Mother Nature takes its good old time rounding into mid-season form. Okay, so here we go. 3 series in the books. Again, I stress, we have yet to begin the home part of our schedule. So in the glass half full department, we have 9 more home games left than road games. Simple math. We sit at 3-6, unfortunately. Took 2 out of 3 from the Royals. We have won our most important series to date. Got swept, had a rough time in Southern California, swept by the Padres. Looked like a little league team on a double steal. Infield played a little volleyball, including the usually very reliable Jose Ramirez. We hang our hat on fundamentals and defense like most gritty and or budget-oriented clubs, so that is not ideal. Let's hope we clean that up and its early season jitters. After taking 2 of 3 from the Royals, including a nice recovery with Bybee pushed back to the 3rd game of the season due to food poisoning, Ben Lively in the opener managed to pitch well enough for us to defeat the Cole Raggins-led Royals and set the tone for us to take that series. We were then swept in San Diego, unfortunately, and only took 1 out of 3 from Anaheim this weekend, bolstered mostly by some nice heroics by Jose Ramirez. Just would not let us get swept with that 3 home run game Friday. We outlasted them in a bit of a slugfest compared to how our games have been going. So here we are, 3 series in, a 2 out of 3, a sweep, and a loss, leaves us at 3-6. No one's run away with this division. Detroit is the only team with a winning record. And this weekend, the Tigers faced the Twins. After the Twins started the season getting swept by the rudderless Cardinals, at the moment, it's certainly debatable who the Guardians' biggest threat is in the Central. At the moment, I'm not quite as scared as the Twins, so let's hope they can knock Detroit down a little this coming weekend and take about 2 out of 3 from them. That would be great. Like I said, Detroit's the only team above 500. We are mostly a tightly bunched scrum of 3-6 to 5-4 teams, with us unfortunately being at the bottom of things at the moment. Hopefully that outlook improves for us soon. Again, White Sox come to town for the home opener. We have Ben Lively versus Shane Smith in the opener at 4:10. Again, not ideal weather, but it is a dry forecast, so the game will happen, albeit under less than ideal weather circumstances. The White Sox haven't been quite the pushover that we all had fun, with numerous jokes at their expense last year so far, but they'll get there. They return mostly the same horrifically atrocious team they did last year, so I don't want to take them lightly, but we'll just call them a manageable opponent to hopefully get back on track next week. Luis Ortiz, jumping around a little bit now. Luis Ortiz gave us our first quality start of the season. Now, in a perfect world, we are going to want more than one quality start every 3 series, but better late than never. We're on the board with quality starts. I know our pitching coaches are still tinkering with his mechanics a little. That's a whole different debate. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Ortiz had himself a very serviceable year last year, so just to talk out of both sides of my mouth a bit, you've got, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why are we messing with a good pitcher's stuff? But also, we do have one of the most acclaimed and knowledgeable pitching coach staffs in the league. Carl Willis is a wizard, and he has earned the right to meddle with people's approach and delivery if he thinks he sees something, and he exercises that right, and that's what we're doing with Ortiz right now, so hopefully he find his stride a little bit and tighten up. In the Monday morning quarterback naysayers department, Luis Ortiz has had an especially rough way to go. We traded Jimenez to Toronto for Spencer Horowitz, and then we flipped Spencer Horowitz for 3 controllable arms to the Pirates, the centerpiece and right now help of that trade being Luis Ortiz. So between Ortiz's slow start and Andres Jimenez temporarily impersonating Robbie Alomar in Toronto, that won't last, but that has given the naysayers quite a field day. On my end in the hot take department, that's been a bit of a plot twist. We may or may not recall from some broadcasts in the offseason and such that I was very bullish on I was into that whole Andres Jimenez trade tree. I like Ortiz, I like Hartley and Kennedy, our other arms that we have down at Lake County. That was the trade I had less doubts about. I really didn't like the Josh Naylor trade. I'm still hoping Slade Sassoni comes back healthy. He's hurt right now, makes me eat my words. And we also got a competitive balance pick in that Josh Naylor trade. So let's hope that I am quite wrong about Slade Sassoni, and he is better than I might think he is right at this moment, and that we make a little useful pick with that competitive balance sandwich pitch we got coming. Trading for picks is fairly rare in baseball. There's a lot of regulations, so anytime you can acquire a draft pick, it's pretty exciting, especially for a team that drafts pretty well, especially on the pitcher's side. So we shall see how that goes. Obviously, the jury is out on both trades. It's always risky to just re-rack the whole right side of your infield, but again, never really doubted that whole Andres Jimenez trade tree. Ortiz will settle in. I like those other arms, and I am hoping that I come around fast on that Josh Naylor for Slade Sassoni and a competitive balance pick that I didn't like a ton. So that's where we're at there on the hot stove with personnel moves. Again, hotly contested division. The Twins actually opened up as the narrow betting favorite. Probably hands down they've looked the worst of the big 4 so far in our division, expected to compete. I did not get a chance to follow up. I know the Twins blew a 7-1 lead to the Astros today. Let's hope the Astros helped us out and finish that job. Didn't get time to read up on the final, but hey, they had a cushy 6-run lead, and that got erased. So let's hope that didn't go their way. Also in the other teams helping us out department, the Brewers recovered from their awful start against the Yankees and continued to slow the Royals down a bit for us. They won on a nice walk-off bunt and made sure that the Royals, along with nobody in the AL Central, built a comfortable lead in the division right now. So We appreciate that assist from the Brewers and possibly from the Astros today if they were able to finish the job on that furious comeback. It's early, but never too early to watch the scoreboard in what is widely anticipated to be a 3 or even 4-team division race. So this week, the home part of the schedule launches. White Sox, and then the Royals. I'll usually highlight the best pitching matchup of the week. For me, it's Sunday. It's a rematch of opening day. The gamer Ben Lively tries to slow down Kansas City's ace, Cole Ragans, again. Sunday at 1:40 is my pitching matchup of the week. And if we're speculating on Mother Nature, maybe give the weather a little time to be more palatable than it is now as well. So this coming Sunday, 1:40, we've got the Royals in town. Cole Ragans, 4th in last year's Cy Young voting, takes on Ben Lively in a rematch of opening day. Again, we had to shuffle the deck a bit for that because of Bibby's food poisoning. Tanner Bibby, while we're on him, the food poisoning, missing opening day, not ideal. Obviously, homer I am. I hope that we defy the odds and find a way to lock up Shane Bieber for 6 more years, and maybe Tanner Bibby doesn't get a whole lot more chances to pitch on opening day, so I'm sure he's bummed he missed opening day. He gave up a handful of runs yesterday against the Angels to kind of set us on a losing path in that series, so having a bit of a rough time, but he is locked up. He'll be a Guardian for a long time by virtue of his 6-year extension we had negotiated right when the season was beginning, and he will remain our hands-down ace for the foreseeable future, at least until Shane Bieber gets back. Again, reinforcements are on the way with the starting rotation. Shane Bieber mid-season, John Means towards the end of the season, and who knows? Parker Messick, Doug McKaysey, maybe we get a little help at Columbus. Some of our pitching prospects are a bit farther down, but it's not impossible. The farm has some health to offer to hopefully keep this pitching staff bolstered here. Let's see. Okay, just checking out the comments really quick. So here we sit at 3-6, hoping to turn it around as the home part of the schedule gets underway here. Again, I do expect Luis Ortiz can't get much less popular than he was, especially right before this quality start today. As Jimenez calms down and Luis Ortiz finds his footing with his coaching staff, I am hoping that he becomes much more of a fan favorite than a lot of the sort of doubting Thomas treatment he's getting at the moment. This guy's a heck of a pitcher, and teams, boy, it's hard to acquire a guy like that. So let's hope it works out. There's certainly upside there. We would not have exerted all the resources on the Toronto trade and then flipping the return on the Toronto trade if we did not see a lot there. And we're good at evaluating pitchers, so got to trust our guys on this one. I always say we are incredible at pitcher development, slightly subpar at hitting development. So sure, it's a bit frustrating. We're a bit subpar at developing pitchers, but hey, it's more than a fun trade-off, factoring in the fact that we are exemplary at developing and coaxing pitchers along and getting what we can out of them. So let's hope that starts trending in the right direction for us. See, yeah, 3-6. We're still pretty tightly jumbled together here in this race. Shout out to Kyle Manzardo. Huge opening weekend against the Royals, or we might be talking about dropping our first 3 series. So Manzardo was a big hero against the Royals. We did not have a hero getting swept against Kansas City, and obviously Jose Ramirez did some nice damage control, or we would have been looking at a sweep with Anaheim. So we're middle of the pack and home runs hit. We're working counts a lot harder. I knew that would happen, swapping Naylor for Santana. Now, Naylor obviously is going to have a better statistical year than Santana when it's all said and done, but Santana's still got that good eye, sees 3 or 4 more pitches than Naylor, and we're hoping that serves us well as we Let's try and win some ball games in a little different way than we did last year. You know, no incarnation is ever the exact same from year to year, and that's never been more true than this rapidly evolving sportscape we live in, where, you know, anyone staying anywhere ever pretty much for 3 or 4 years is considered crazy longevity. It's a volatile world, and we are just sort of fitting our pieces together and doing the best we can, hopefully, with this batch of the tribe. No surprise here, homer I am. I remain pretty optimistic. No one's running away with anything yet. And I told you guys last episode, you know, those high water marks of last year, 10-game leads, 25 games over 500, none of that's happening this year. Even a giant homer like me readily admits none of that is happening this year. Everything's going to have to be earned. We got to kick and fight for our results, and hopefully we'll be there at the end. In the Fearless Forecast department, I have us winning the division with 88 wins. It's hard to win a division with 88 wins, but we are in the Central, a little more manageable payrolls, and we can hope that our competition beats up on each other fairly equally. So, do hope you guys continue to join me Sunday nights talking Tribe. We are not on Sunday Night Baseball very often, so there will very rarely be a conflict of interest. Games will generally be over, and we will talk some Tribe on Sunday nights. And hopefully things will continue to get more better and more optimistic as far as where we are in our standings and our outlook. Like I said, this is a dang good team. We have the reigning manager of the year, and A.J. Hinch and Matt Cortero were no slouches last year making their claims on the award. So we don't just have the reigning manager of the year, we have the reigning manager of the year who emerged and took that award in a crowded field. Now, Voigt's not perfect. He could stand to have more experience. Vogt. I still struggle to pronounce his name. You know, I'm not 100% behind everything he does. He gets a little trigger happy with the bullpen. Plays the matchups a little crazy, even by today's standards sometimes. But, hey, he's earned some leeway. He has managed one season in the big leagues, and he won 93 games in what proved to be a surprisingly difficult division in his one big league season. So I'm willing to look the other way on a questionable decision or two and ultimately remain hopeful that we're under some pretty good leadership. Sandy Alomar has been with us for a long time. Already mentioned Carl Willis. So beyond Vogt, we have a good, capable coaching staff, good front office. Depending on what day you ask me, I may or may not say the nicest things about our owners, but it is what it is. Let's just stay positive and harp on our excellent talent evaluators and coaching staff and hope we can get ourselves pointed in the right direction. So we've got at least 2 more shows left for you in April. Next week, I should have my buddy Line Drive Lewis on, returning to the guest format to talk some ball. And then 2 weeks from now, April 20th, is Easter. I'm kind of playing that by ear. I might do a short show. I might just honor the holiday and take it off. And then at the end of the month, April 27th, looking forward to yet another guest. We will have Jokin' Jimmy Ward, local stand-up comedian, on here to talk some baseball. He has been a fan of Cleveland baseball since 1975, which is 6 years before I was even born, if you're scoring at home. So that should offer some nice, fresh perspective there from sort of a different demographic and whatever as we continue to talk Tribe and celebrate this season. It's not easy to even be relevant in small market baseball. We are relevant and then some, I hope, as the season plays out. Very encouraging, friendly reminder, we got Manzardo for Aaron Savell. And not to pile on Aaron Savell, but man, a middling 30-year-old veteran to get a prospect with the hit tool of Manzardo, heart of the order could be promising. We're already middling in home runs, and we've had some heaters from Manzardo and Ramirez already, so let's see where that takes us. And there's definitely reasons to be optimistic about this team. Again, shout out to everyone braving the elements at the ballpark this week, especially opening day. It's not going to be the best weather, but hey, warm yourself up with an adult beverage or two, and hey, you'll heat up once you're there. There's nothing like being at the ballpark, especially after a long off season and long winter. And reminder, my favorite pitching matchup of the week is 140 this Sunday, the series finale against the Royals, Ben Lively versus Cole Ragans in a rematch of the opener. Now, obviously on paper, Ben Lively versus Cole Ragans favors the Royals, but hey, we already stole that matchup once, and it'd be a nice coup if our 3 or 4 starter can beat possibly our main competition's #1 starter, ultimately win a game twice in that said matchup early in the season. Like I said, that's a heck of a win, because when you look at the Royals side of the aisle, their ace versus our 3 or 4, they're more or less counting those games as W's. So when they aren't, you throw a nice wrench into things. Not a whole lot of comments today. I sort of anticipated that. Between flying solo and the Guardians having a bit of a disappointing week. So no comments yet. We don't really have that to address. But again, moving forward with the season, I anticipate if everything breaks right, this is going to become a hotter and hotter topic. And hopefully we'll be talking about how here we are again, sitting in first place before too long. Might take us more than a week to get back in first place, but I remain hopeful that before April is over, we will be in first place again, or in sniffing distance of it. Excuse me. So, yeah, manageable week. White Sox and Royals are our week. I didn't really break down our opponent's schedule in detail, but I do know it's Tigers-Twins this weekend, so that'll be some losses being took by one of our rivals at the moment. Rooting for the Twins to get the better of that series. Tigers having Tariq Skubal, reigning Triple Crown Cy Young winner. Riley Green and a couple other kids coming into their own. I have the Tigers as our biggest threat right now. You know, throw darts at a board. Guardians, Tigers, Royals, Twins. Respectable pundits all over the country have them mixed and matched in every which way. Just a friendly reminder, scoring at home. Homer Homerson here from where I'm sitting. I have Guardians 1, Tigers 2, Twins 3, and the Royals in a disappointing 4th place. I always say never bet on a career year, and as far as I'm concerned, selling Brady Singer a little low, the Royals bet on 3 career years, because things are going pretty well for Alec Marsh and Seth Lugo and Michael Wacha right about now, but all 3 of those big leaguers have, to generalize things, had every bit as many downs and ups in their big league careers. So let's hope Jonathan India, the return for that Brady Singer trade, cools down, and that prediction of mine comes to fruition that the Royals will miss Brady Singer, betting on not 1, but 3 career years, moving him too cheap and treading water, counting on a repeat of 3 career years from Wacha, Lorenzen, and Lugo. Talented gentlemen in their own right, but again, they have had every bit as many lows as highs in their big league career, and none of them's on the right side of 30. So we're monitoring that to see how that goes. Obviously, Bobby Witt's the most dangerous player in our division, if not our game already. So won't hate it if we find ourselves fighting the Tigers, maybe the Twins, more so than the Royals. We'll see how that shakes out. Again, I have the Royals a disappointing 4th in our division. We shall see. Time will tell. And that's about it. I think, with guests lined up the rest of the month, we're going to cut this a little bit shorter than it was supposed to be. Tentatively speaking, maybe I'll get a second wind here, but I've about covered what I want to cover so far. Again, reinforcements are on the way with the starting pitching. Even with regression on the bullpen, we had the best bullpen in baseball by head and shoulders last year. So even if we unfortunately encounter some regression, there is still a path to have a top 3 or even the best bullpen. Yet again, we're working counts. we're showing respectable power numbers. We're not the Yankees at hitting home runs, and we never will be, but we've hit double digits in home runs already, and there's teams like the Rockies and shit stuck on 3 that would be surprisingly jealous of the fact that we've hit double-digit home runs already. So that's a feather in our cap that hopefully we can build on. I do thank you guys for tuning in and talking some baseball with me. And once again, we will be back most Sundays, the 13th and 27th of this month for sure, Sunday at 8:30. And I have a feeling, knowing how antsy I get, at least a quick hitter on Easter. Maybe cap it at like 5 to 7 minutes, just essential recaps out of respect for the holiday. But at the moment, I would bet on there being some type of show on Easter versus not. So we will be doing that. Again, next week, I think I got my buddy Line Drive Lewis. Then Easter will probably be a quick monologue hitter, the 20th. And then the 27th, we'll have Joke and Jimmy Ward on here to help me talk some Tribe. And stay tuned. Let's turn this thing around and start accumulating some wins and building some momentum as the home part of the schedule continues. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Travis Bazzana. Started off his first 3 games hitting .750 at AA. So, yeah, he will be in Columbus before you know it, and we will be gossiping about him getting called up to the show before too long, which, hey, that will be a welcome distraction. Let the gossiping begin, because the moment Bazzana is 1 level away, we'll be talking about him coming up here, and rightfully so. The man can hit. First second baseman ever drafted first overall, if you can believe that. In the storied history of second baseman, he is the first ironclad second baseman ever to be drafted first overall. So we have a bright future, and I maintain hope that the present won't be too shabby either. Don't forget, Abraham Drinkin' tomorrow, general content podcast from the Lincoln Lounge at 6 p.m. I'm sure the guys will have some funny stuff going there, and that is every Monday at 6 o'clock, general content on the Abraham Drinkin'. And shout out to our sponsor, $2, my local watering hole. It's about 500 feet away. They just refinished some of their pool tables. They've got some nice drink specials and always have the game you want over there. So props to $2. Props to our general podcast buddies at the Abraham Drinkin' Show every Monday at 6 o'clock. And tune in, because I'll get into mid-season form, and the length of the show will stretch out as the guests emerge, and we are going to be talking some Tribe this baseball season, and I anticipate there'll be some good plot lines as we emerge. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you guys a week from now at 8:30 p.m.
Play ball! If they don't win, it's a shame.